This gentleman, uh,
As
as
far as
far as
we're
we're
concerned,
concerned, he contested presidency and then now is an elected senator, returned by the Supreme Court, and you cannot contest two offices as far in the same election. You cannot. It is on record he contested presidency. Supreme Court now says he's senatorial candidate, and then he sits as Senate president to give us this kind of opinion. It is very, very difficult for me to say this, but I will have to say it. Such an irresponsible person must never be listened to.
Now, for a big fact, I've gotten another clearer explanation on LP's final address and PDP final address, and of course, Tinubu and Shetima final address. I'm going to give credit to Umar Sani. Now, this is a lawyer's perspective to the written address of both the PDP and LP. So, I have read both LP's and PDP's written address. A few comparison for me. Number one, the presentation and clarity of the PDP's address to BAT is awesome. Very sweet to read. Bola Ahmed Tinubu's written address to PDP is terrible, very convoluted and hard to read. I give PDP written address A+. Some people are saying that the address was edited by Paul Usoro. I checked his profile and he appears to be a gifted writer. Number two, for LP's address to Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Inec, when compared to PDP's address to BAT, LP addresses are richer in substance and in analysis, a lot of different angles when arguing for an issue. I think the reason is that it will appear that a lot of contributions came from different people. I will almost call this crowdsourcing. This is how I see it. LP's address to INEC is very strong on substantial non-compliance. Non-compliance alone cannot invalidate an election. You need substantial non-compliance to annul. Substantial non-compliance is a non-substantial that can unjustly lead to another candidate to be declared the winner. To succeed in proving substantial non-compliance, you need to put numbers on it. LP was able to put a number on it, 8 million plus votes that INEC cannot account for. 8 million plus votes. I love this explanation from this lawyer. So INEC cannot account for 8 million votes, 8 million plus vote, not just 8 million. And yet we have a president. Number three, we have the third comparison. Overall, I would say that LP and PDP's address are complementary to each other. I will call it division of labor. I remember the excellent work done by APM. I have since narrowed down my prediction from a rerun or runoff. Now, when you look at all this explanation and everything that is going on lately, you understand one thing, that of course Labour Party has done better in trying to, make things more explainable and how everything should happen. This is one thing I've always told those who are criticizing what Labour Party are doing. So we have over 8 million votes that cannot be accounted to. And now what these people do not understand is that we must be able to prove, at least to a length, that people must see the biggest picture of what we perceive. Biggest picture, yes. Now, I can tell you that INEC did not make any case from themselves, from the look of things, because I want to bring back the runoff and the rerun election issue that has been going on, which APC now wants to fall back to. They are talking about the runoff. They want to rerun the election in a way that P2B or Labour Party should not be a partaker of. It's very, very funny, and why it's very funny is that people must get to understand what the law stands for, and the law cannot be compromised. Now, for condition for runoff or rerun election, number one, we need to know what runoff means. Runoff means an election between two candidates. Two, the conditions for runoff are no candidate satisfy the two conditions for return: highest votes and spread. From every presentation done by Labour Party, from their evidence and final address, you will now realize that Inec has already failed in their own role. And this is not a matter of failing in their own role, because when you look at what from what this lawyer said in this paragraph, you realize that from the look of things, it is not all about whether lawyer failed their own rules or whether Inec failed their own rules, but LP's address to Inec is very strong on substantial non-compliance. So non-compliance is not even enough. Non-compliance is not enough to remove or to arrest Inec chairman or those who are the culprits. So Labour Party cleared that. Non-compliance alone cannot invalidate an election. You need substantial non-compliance to annul. Substantial non-compliance is non-compliance that can unjustly lead to another candidate to be declared the winner. To succeed in proving substantial non-compliance, you need to put numbers on it. LP was able to put a number on it, 8 million. How can you have over 8 million lost votes that cannot be accounted for, and you have a president of a country? We need to understand why Inec have decided to make a mess of the whole Nigerian system. This is what I must say. We need to understand why Inec has made a whole mess out of the Nigerian system. So Inec chairman invadedly is going to jail. I don't know what you want to say. I don't know how you want to say it, but Inec chairman is invadedly going to jail. As this thing continues to happen, as this thing continues to bound, we must look dearly into all this miscalculation that was done by by the Inec. Are you getting me? We must look into all this thing, and by looking at them, we can now finally conclude that everything that Inec did it as a result of what? Promoting and helping a man who did not qualify to be the president of Nigeria. I could remember what Bola Ahmed Tinubu said earlier: my Guinea citizenship invalid since my passport expired in 2020. How can you say that your citizenship has expired because your passport expired? It's no longer invalid. Just like telling a Nigerian that your citizenship is not invalid anymore because your passport expired. So what of those that don't have their passport? Are you telling me they are not citizens of Nigeria? This is very, very dignitarious. That's what I would say. Bola Tinubu has claimed that his Guinea citizenship expired in 2020 and his Guinea passport, presented by the opposition, also expired in the same year. He made this assertion through his lead counsel, Wole Olanibekun, SAN, while seeking the dismissal of a petition by the Labour Party aimed at removing him from office. Tinubu's lawyer argued that the opposition claim regarding his dual citizenship was an attempt to embarrass the president. I don't understand. How can your dual citizenship expire or become invalid because of your passport expired? Before your citizenship will be invalid, you need to, make a claim over or come to denounce it in the open, or by the court, they will denounce it. So all these lies that are flying ahead, I don't even know where to start from. But of course, Labour Party has made a case for themselves. Thanks for supporting the Future News. Peace.